Our first episode of GWBT, Graduates and Business Takes. I'm Katie Kowaleski, founder of CatieKowaleski.com and the nonprofit, the co-founder of the nonprofit Holding Space.
I'm Jensen Hendricks, founder of, or CEO, does it matter?
Whatever. It's all the things.
Okay, all the things. Candid Digital Media, digital marketing and search engine company. If you're listening to this on podcast, know that we're recording this.
Via
video
and we
as
look
well.
Really sweaty. Today's workout was hard.
Today's workout sucked.
It was hard.
So if you're listening, check YouTube later. That way you can kind of see, hey, I never changed that screen thing.
Is it a tornado warning?
No, it's lightning.
Oh. It's going to be super intense.
I know, right?
No, tornado.
So, podcasters, be sure to check out the YouTube video because you get a hyper speed of our workout, and it kind of explains why we're out of breath and I pause a lot and stuff like that. Also, we have some atmosphere today because we videoed this in the garage right after the workout, and it's pouring rain.
It's raining
here in Winter Park, Florida.
Yep.
And where we're located is not too far from Little League fields, and we just heard the lightning warning, which means all the kids are having to rush to the dugouts right now, or probably their parents' cars. So I might have to screw with the audio later, huh?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Makes it more intense.
Sure.
Yeah.
So it's funny, right before we started, this being our official first episode, Katie asked, so do I say founder of Anytime Sleep Consulting or founder of CatieKowaleski.com, or like how does that work? So this is going to be a super candid podcast for y'all because we're going to talk about rebranding, and because Katie's going through that right now. So I mean, over the past couple of months, Katie and I have discussed it and stuff like that, and she's had AnytimeSleepConsulting.com, right? But she also, outside of sleep consultations and things like that for children and families, she also is certified in life coaching, correct? So her education kind of consists of two different styles of coaching, and she wanted to bring more of the life coaching into her business model. So we're working with her on kind of rebranding and taking everything to CatieKowaleski.com, not just AnytimeSleepConsulting.com and whatever.com we could imagine for the life coaching. We're trying to bring it under like one brand, which is Katie, the Katie brand.
Hey!
So what have been the difficulties?
Well, I guess for a long time I just did the coaching on the side and didn't even really concentrate on that because I do a lot of that in Holding Space with groups. And then I wanted the sleep consulting brand to be stable enough and have been around long enough to be recognized kind of on its own, but now I want to bring the coaching into that. And so I think I avoided doing that for a long time because I was overwhelmed by the idea of how do I have one website? How do I make it clear that there's two different product offerings and so people are not confused? Because if they get confused, they're just going to leave, find somebody else. So, of course, when I brought it to Jensen, he was like, oh, we can do that easily. And I was like, oh, of course. So always seek guidance because what might be overwhelming to you might be easy for somebody else.
True.
And almost immediately he came up with a theme that's very concise and very easy to see how two different product lines can be under the same umbrella on the same site and work. So now it's fun.
No, it's a fun challenge at this point.
Yeah.
You got past the obstacle of what in the world do I do? I don't want to have 3 different websites essentially, like life coaching and sleep coaching and the holding space, right? You don't want to have to manage so many different properties. So to put 2 properties under one is going to make it easier. And once everything is all said and done and the transition is complete, they'll be able to find, or you'll be able to find the life coaching and the sleep coaching all at katiekovalevsky.com, as opposed to bouncing around a bunch. But so it's basically building a personal brand, because she is the coach. So we're not working with products and different product lines. We're really working with Katie. So it's a matter of, do you want to seek her out for her consultation or advice in regards to what's happening in your current life and how to get through some obstacles? Or do you want to reach out to Katie because she's also qualified to help you and your children with their sleep patterns and the what's and whys of things that are happening? So to take it, as opposed to being a business brand, we're taking it to Katie's personal brand. And we're able to do that through a single website because it's really all about the value that she could provide others. As much as people go to her website, they might say, wow, this really is great. It's all about Katie and what she does. That might be an outside perspective, but from Katie's point of view, it's really, this website is all about the value and the services that I could provide you to help you have a better lifestyle. So it's not so much about Katie, but it's really about portraying the fact that she can accommodate you in your needs. We just have to put it all under one umbrella.
Yeah, it's interesting right now because it won't launch till later this summer, and so now we have the domain, the theme, and it's like messing around with, do I keep my Instagram? Do I create a new one? Do I just change the name? And so that's where we're kind of at right now, and I'm experimenting with using Instagram for coaching because it doesn't really have a good turnover for consulting, and then keeping Facebook mostly for the sleep stuff and just changing the name to coaching with Katie or whatever it is. And so that's kind of where we're at right now, experimenting with what to do with social media so it's not confusing for the followers I already have. And then as the summer progresses, we'll just see what works and what doesn't, and it's the growing curve.
Yeah.
And so
there's going to be a lot of testing involved. This is new for you, so we're going to have to kind of learn as we go and determine the analytics, like where is your sleep clientele coming from the most, and where is your life coaching clientele coming from the most, and do we have to kind of commingle the social medias and not keep them separate? I think right away the first thing we have to worry about is, one, keeping the consistency in the social media, but also getting the rebranding right on the website. So when the users log on to the website, for those of you that are working on personal brands and you might have different facets of what you do, how to leverage your website to cater to both people. You're going to create like a sleep funnel and a life funnel, and where are you going to draw that traffic from the most? So for anybody listening and watching, if you're trying to build a personal brand, Katie's working with 2 things. She has a specialty in coaching, and she's capable of A and B. Be careful if you're building a personal brand and you have like a million things you want to do. Essentially, it's going to be watered down, and you're not going to be able to pull focus on a single one or 2 that you could be a rock star at. So you don't want to have too many things going on at once. You don't want to be a jack of all trades, because then you're a master of none, right? So if you could hone in on like your 2 rock star services or products, push those and become that master of those, or become that expert or authority in that field. And then down the road, if you want to dabble in something else, you'll already have a following of people that believe in you and they trust your brand and they've already hired you for your services. Well, then maybe you could enter something else. Or you just expand on what you already have.
Yeah.
Maybe you offer a book on sleep consulting, and then you're right there in your own home. You don't need a new website because you're an author also.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I think can be a frustrating thing when you're starting out. I remember like 5 or 6 years ago, I was like, well, I'm a life coach and I'm a therapist and I do sleep consulting, and someone was like, just pick the one that you're going to be best at, make yourself really good at that, and then add to it later. So it might seem like a good idea to have all these offerings, but it's confusing for your consumer, especially when you don't have a brand built. when no one knows who you are. So pick one thing, become an expert at that for a few years, and then slowly add in other things.
Be patient.
Yeah.
Be patient. A lot of people, like, so I taught college for, a total of almost 16 years. I adjuncted at one college, and then I was a full-time course director at another college. And students would graduate and immediately want to either jump into their big brand, and they want to do a million things, and they're going to be great, and they're going to have all this stuff.
I'm going to have an office building, and I'm going to do this.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
It doesn't work that way.
So far-fetched. Like, you have to be patient. For example, I would have a lot of students that want to start their own apparel line. And I tell them, I'm like, oh, that's great. You know, I could design something and print it on a t-shirt too. And they're like, no, it's going to be like this. But they refuse to get a job working at a screen printer. You know, if you want to be an expert in your industry, you need to know the industry. Be patient. Go and intern or get a job at the screen printer. Just because you did it as a class project doesn't mean you know how to do it.
Yeah.
Go and get a job doing that. You know, enhance your education. Get in there, build it, understand the manufacturing inside, how to do inventory on all these different sizes, and why companies order so many mediums as opposed to triple extra larges and extra smalls. Instead, they order larges.
Right.
And you got to know your industry. You can't just assume you have a good design so you can toss on a t-shirt and they're going to buy it. So bust your butt, and like Katie, you know, she went through school and she got this education, and she slowly worked her way into the coaching and therapy industry, whereas to now she can say that she's an expert in both fields. She put in the work, so now it's just the branding part.
Yeah. I think when you look at somebody like with their own business, or people I think look at me a lot like, oh, you can create your own schedule, or you can just take the day off, or whatever it is, and I'm like, I worked really hard for a really long time, and I wouldn't want to have to go back and do it again, but I worked really hard for a long time to be able to do that. And I think that when you see the finished product and it looks like so nice and easy, people have no idea what it takes to get there. Yeah. You know, and there's a lot of like starting and stopping and throwing something away and trying something else, and having people be like, nope, you're picking the wrong field, try this, and like, it's a lot. It's humbling, but it's worth it. But
it takes time.
Yeah, and you have to be committed.
Yeah.
I only knew that I never wanted to work for anyone else.
Yeah.
100%. And I was like, I'll find my niche, but I know for certain I don't want to have a 9 to 5 in a cubicle. So
yeah, likewise.
Figure it out.
I'd rather work 14 hours a day for a cause, purpose, or passion that I'm 100% believe in than work a 9 to 5 that I'm like leaving work unhappy about or not fulfilled. But it takes time to get there. I mean, I started off in web development, became a college instructor teaching front-end web development, but while I was doing that, I full-on immersed myself in search engine optimization and marketing because I discovered it became such a passion of mine. Thunder.
Danger.
Doppler radar. Get undercover. But it became such a huge passion of mine. So I immersed myself in the industry, and I just dug in, and I dug in as deep as I could. I think my background in front-end web development helped because I understand the needs of the user, I understand the needs of the client, and I understand how good code and content helps SEO. So I kind of reverse engineers how some people would get to where I am now. So it worked for me though, and it took a long time. I mean, I'm 41 and I just recently started my marketing agency. So these 20-somethings coming out of school, I mean, there's going to be that handful that do like blow up right away, but I have to encourage y'all to be patient and work on building that brand for longevity, right?
Yeah, I think like finding something you enjoy doing and then being open to like an idea of where it could go, but also being open enough to know that it can totally change direction. You know, I wanted to be the head, or like I wanted to go into doing like organizational psychology, so I wanted to go into like companies and corporations and do like Myers-Briggs and help like reorganize. And I met with my business mentor, I don't know, 7 years ago or something, and I'd never met her, and I thought she was going to help me, put me on that track, introduce me to the right people to get in that door. And she like, we met at a Starbucks, and she gave me this like really slow once over, and she goes, you look like a 20-year-old surfer. And she's like, no one's ever going to take you seriously. That is the wrong field for you. Have you ever heard of sleep consulting? Do you like babies? And I was like, what? I spent 10 years like on this path, like getting these degrees, going to grad school. I knew what I wanted, and she was like, this is not the right field for you, and threw it out the window. And for a minute I was like crushed, and then my dad was like, when you meet with her, just listen to what she has to say because she knows her shit. And so I did, and I totally changed my entire career path that day and that Starbucks. And I went back to school, studied sleep, started a business, and it was successful because she was right. She knew the market well enough to know where there was an opening that wasn't being filled, and then knew my background enough to match me with it. But if I had too much pride and was clung to that original vision I had, I would still be chasing something that probably wouldn't work out. So be open, find mentors who have done what you want to do and have done it well, and get their advice and follow it, would be my advice. Yeah.
So we interrupt this broadcast so my dog doesn't escape the house, run out of the garage, let the cats loose, and yeah, that would really screw up the podcast.
So be open to your path changing course. That doesn't mean that you're off path, but people have done what you want to do and they've done it well, so find them and take their advice so that you don't have to go chasing something that might not work out as opposed to something that might be better, even if it demolishes your original dream.
I wanted to be a cowboy. Career goal smashed right away. Like, it's not allowed to carry 6-shooters around like that anymore. Yeah. So going to what Katie was saying in regards to, we talked about patience, and she went through school, and she was fortunate enough to meet with a mentor to help her out. You're allowed to pivot, right? I talk with a lot of clients about pivoting, and you're allowed to. And I almost encourage you to, when you find that place in your business or that place in your life. Yeah. A lot of clients, when they're talking to me about their marketing plans and we're talking about what they need to do and what phases we're going to switch it up in, you got to think, as a business evolves, the marketing plan needs to evolve also. So we have to be able to pivot. We have to be able to, in constant communication with our clients, so when something changes, we can ride that wave with them. So Katie went through not only all the school and then pivoted and then went back to school. Well, now she's at a point where she's pivoting again because she's going from really full-time sleep consulting and part-time life coaching to more of a balanced approach. So the pivot is changing again, where it's now, instead of 2 separate brands, 1. Yeah. So like full circle, it comes back to personal branding. And you're going to learn as you go, but stay true to who you are. Stay true to candor. Like, you have to be transparent. It's one of those things, like, if you have to lie about something, you're doing something wrong, right? So if you're 100% in on this, and then you're like, oh no, I could do that too, when you really can't do that.
Yeah, don't do that. People
are going to find out, and you hurt your personal brand, right? So if I'm like, well, I was in a couple therapy sessions, so I could be a therapist, and I start telling people that, and then they figure it out, then my personal brand is squashed, and I have zero credibility. Stay true to yourself. Be honest with your clientele. Be honest with your following, your social media following. Don't take a picture of a private plane on the runway when you're getting on, some huge plane sitting coach. That does you no justice, because that's short-lived. When you're in the game and you want to have a successful career, you have to think longevity. Yeah. You can't just do it for the short term. So be super transparent with your clients or your followers. Be honest. Bring them along for the ride and own everything. Own your mistakes, own your successes, and celebrate all of that with the people that are on the wave with you. So that's I think that's what we're really trying to push really with your brand. Yeah. Is when they show up to your website, they see Katie for who Katie is, and it's easy to determine where they want to go once they're there.
And I think it's important to have somebody like, Jensen in your corner so that you can help guide you along that way, as opposed to like, I know some other marketing firms, it'll be kind of like a one size fits all model, or they're more concerned with like accumulating clients than they are with like developing your personal brand that looks different for each person. So we're excited to kind of like let you guys in on this journey as we go, so you can see the process of rebranding and then see kind of how Jensen can fit to what you need it to be for your own brand. So it's different for everybody. So
it's gonna be good.
Yeah, it's an adventure.
After the workout too.
Yeah, give the workout a try if you need an 8-minute.
Did you post it?
I took a picture of it.
Okay, because I put it on a story too. I was like, Katie's gonna hate this.
We'll put it in front of the video. Yeah, it was pretty brutal.
Yeah.
It was like the worst 7.5 minutes of my life. I say that every time, but it's true every time.
She's smiling now though.
Yeah.
She looks like a 21-year-old surfer.
Yeah. I'll take it.
Amen. Cool. Well, I got nothing else for today.
Oh, yeah.
You good?
I'm good.
We're good?
Yeah.
You good?
Good.
So a little bit of personal branding, a little bit of staying true to who you are. Don't be afraid to pivot.
Yeah.
If you're listening, watch. If you're watching,
listen.
Tell some. You kind of are. Tell someone about it. It'll be awesome if you hit the red button below and subscribe. Other than that,
follow us.
Stay tuned.
Questions. If you have any questions, thoughts. You're starting your own business, rebranding, whatever. Share your stories with us.
Yeah.
We're all in this together.
That's a wrap.
Yeah.
Until next time.
GWBT.
Hello.